Hello all, welcome back to SQL with Ravi Martha. Today we'll see how to print Fibonacci series using SQL. This is part 25 of this series. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I'll place the links in the description of this video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. So let's see today's question. To print the Fibonacci series, so in this the output 1 and output 2 is there. So output 1 we are just printing it, output 2 we are just having them as comma separated values, right? So let's give a brief background about this Fibonacci series. So the Fibonacci series is, for example, the value 3 is sum of its two previous values. For example, 1 plus 2 is equal to 3 and 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. 3 plus 5 equal to 8. So every number generated is the sum of its preceding two numbers. For example, 8 is the sum of preceding two numbers, that is 5 and 3. And example 13 is the sum of preceding two numbers, that is 8 and 5. So that's the Fibonacci series. Let's see how we can solve it in SQL. Let's flip back to SQL Server Management Studio. Right, currently we are in SQL Server Management Studio. So first method to solve this problem is using a while loop, right? So I'm declaring three variables here, id1, id2, id3, and a counter variable just to increment the counter, while loop counter, right? So this is id1 and id2, and for id3 I'm using just to sum up these two values and store it in id3, and I'm just printing the first two numbers, that is 0 and 1, manually. Then I'm using a while loop and I'm just summing up the two values, the two preceding values, and I'm saving it in id3. Now I'm printing the next sequence number, right? And then I'm just saving the latest number, that is id2 into id1, and the latest calculated id3 into id2. So basically I'm just saving the last two values which are generated in the sequence so that I can generate the next new number in the Fibonacci series, and I'll increment the counter. As soon as the counter reaches the 11, right, it will come out of the loop. So this is the number, how many numbers I want to generate in the sequence, right? Let me execute this and see if we are getting the output, right? So we got the required output, right? I'll place this particular query in the description of the video. You can just copy it and explore, right? Now, so let's go ahead and solve the next one, that is method 2. So we can just flip back this, we can just spin off this while loop into a recursive CTE. So that's the method 2 to achieve the Fibonacci series, right? For that, I'm just using the same two variables, that is two columns here. So we have id1 and id2 is there, and a counter variable is there. So for that, I'm just using id1, id2, and the counter as well here. And I have printed 0 and 1 manually here. That goes as the anchor query in the recursive CTE, which executes only once. So it will generate 0 and 1 as the output, right? And in the recursive CTE, so once this value 0 goes into id1, 1 goes to id2, and this 1 will goes to the counter. So let me run the query first to see the output. So the id1 holds 0 and id2 holds 1. And in the first iteration of this recursive CTE, so id1 generates 1 and id2 generates 1 plus 0, that is 1. So in the next iteration, again the id2 is having the value 1, and id1 is also having value 1. So next, this particular iteration, id2 is having value 1, and id2 plus id1, that is 1 plus 1, that goes as 2 here. So that's the second iteration of the recursive CTE. Now in the third one, the id1 holds value 1 and id2 holds value 2, right? So recursive CTE will generate 2 as the id2, and id2 plus id1, that is 2 plus 1 gives 3. So on and so forth, we'll generate entire series here. As soon as the counter goes up to 12, then it will exit the loop. So let me execute this again to show it. So if you see, the id1 has generated all the Fibonacci numbers, right? 0, 1, 1, 2, etc. till 89, since I have given only 12 numbers. So let me make them as comma separated. We have seen the XML path to have the comma separation in the previous video. I'll have the links in the description of the video. So let me execute this. We are using a XML path function and we are using a stump function as well, right? Let me execute all together. So this gives a comma separation value 0, 1 till 89, right? And we can also use string underscore aggregate function instead of the XML path. So let me uncomment this one and comment the first one. So this also generates the same output, right? So if you have any other easy ways to solve this problem, please do comment in the description of the video. If you have any other queries, do comment in the comment section of this video. We can meet in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself. Have a great day. Thank you.